let's talk about parametric equation. First example, line.
This is 17.
Yeah, this is 17.1. Ish. Okay. The idea of this, right, is here's a line,
Ew.
right? You all are, I hope, familiar with this object at one level or another?
It scares us.
Nah, first time?
What is this thing?
So, let's go with this as an idea. If you wanted to describe a line, of course, you could think about it as a bunch of vectors, right, that started here at 0 and ended at the line. You guys see that?
Yeah, I don't like lines in parametric
Okay.
at all.
So here's a point P, right? That's going to be on our line. Yeah? Okay. All right. Now I'd like some way to, I don't know, make an equation, right? You guys see that?
With the P?
Yeah, so what do I need to determine a line? I have 1 point now. How many points do I need?
All of them.
2 to determine a line uniquely, right? So let me say I've got a point there, P, and a point over here, Q. Let's see if we can develop a way to make an equation. So, how many variables am I going to need to describe a line?
2.
1. Why?
The output would be the other variable.
Yeah, oh, I see. How about this? How many dimensions does a line have?
1.
1, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if I thought about this as a function of one variable, right? So I'm thinking L is going to map R into R3. In other words, L is going to take T's, right?
And make them different.
And it's going to make vectors.
Thank you. Okay.
You guys see that? So I'm going to take T's and I'm going to turn them into vectors. And all I'm going to mean by that T is how far did you walk along the line? You guys see that? So to write down an equation, I don't know, where's your line kind of start? Any place, right?
Yeah.
But maybe P. P seems like a perfectly reasonable spot to start it. So I'm going to do P. And I'm thinking here of P as a vector, right?
Okay.
You guys see that? So I'm going to think about this P vector. That's my kind of golden starting vector. And I just picked it at random. It could have been any of the points on this line. But that's the place I start, right? Now, how do you get to another spot along this line?
Displacement?
Yeah, some displacement vector, right? How do you get to Q, for instance? What's the displacement vector between P and Q? That'd be this guy, right?
Yeah.
And that'd be Q as a vector minus P as a vector. You guys see that? Okay, so what if I thought about taking P's and adding Q minus P's?
You just get Q.
Yeah, just get Q, right? To get to other spots on the line, what do I go? How do I do that?
You subtract P or
Some constant multiple of that.
Yeah, you guys see that? If I want to get to like this point down here, like if that's my goal, right, instead of going out to P and then going Q minus P, I'm going to go out to P and then I'm going to come along some constant multiple, right, of Q minus P. You guys see that? Okay, so how do I make that into a function of T over here? What do I do? Like, how do I incorporate that idea? My goal is to make a function that takes T's and turns it into this whole line, right?
Okay, so then that'd be p vector p plus k q minus p.
Perfect. And here I'm using t's, right, as my variable.
Yeah.
You guys see that? So here, really, I'm thinking this is some special t, right?
And so t is just another point on the line.
So t is the input variable, right?
Okay.
And what I mean, or what I'm thinking is, okay, I go out p, and then I run out some constant multiple of q minus p. Right? That's going to get me to all the points that are out p and then along a scalar multiple of q minus p. So that's going to give me that whole line. You guys see that? So this is your first vector valued function, and we could rewrite this as, and really we should of course add vector hats to this. Why would I add a vector hat to this?
Because it's going to be a vector.
Yeah, I really want it to be kind of vector valued, right? So this is going to take t's and output vectors. And I want to note that somehow on the name of the function.
And the vector starts at vector p.
Yeah, so our line's going to start at p, and it's going to go out by t times this thing.
Okay.
I'm just going to fiddle around with my scalars a little bit. So this is p plus tq minus
Minus t p.
minus tp. So can you combine like terms there or something?
No, but you can group them.
T times.
So then be a p vector 1 minus
Yeah.
t plus
Okay.
q vector.
So 1 minus t p's plus t q's. You guys cool with that? So there's our line as a function of t. Okay. What's the slope of this line?
Slope of it be
T minus p.
That's kind of a weird question, right? Say that again, Donald.
Q minus p.
Yeah.
oh, I see. Okay.
You guys all see that?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
easier to see from the first equation.
yeah.
Yeah, of course it's easy to see here, right? Because it looks like y equals
X plus
yeah, m x plus b.
Yeah.
You guys see that? The b no longer makes sense in terms of an intercept, right? That's really just where you thought of starting the line. Would I get the same thing if I thought about starting at q?
Yeah.
What's the reason for putting into the other one where you just do the 1 minus t?
Oh, what's the reason for this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Aesthetics? Part of it is that from this, I can tell that at t is 0, I'm starting at p, right? At t is 1, I'm at q, right? So what's the line segment between p and q?
Q minus no. Oh,
It's just this thing, right? But you restrict the t's.
Yeah. Okay.
What are the t's that give you everything between p and q?
1.
So what I'm asking is this line segment, right? That line segment there is given by L of t is that thing. 1 minus tp plus tq. And I'm restricting t's. Where do the t's live?
Q minus p.
Perfect, from 0 to 1. You guys see that?
Why is it restricted from 0 to 1?
So to get just the blue bit, right, I want to start at P and go to Q.
Oh.
You guys see that?
Uh-huh.
So to start at P, it's at P when T is 0,
Yeah.
and it's at Q when T is 1.
Oh, okay.
And of course it goes by regular scalar multiple, right?
So with that notation, we could pick out any portion of the line.
Yep.
Not necessarily including p.
Yeah, so if we wanted to pick out the portion of the line Q and
something past.
a bit on, yeah, we could restrict t from 1 to 7 or whatever.
Okay.
You guys see that?
Yeah.
Cool. Questions?